This is Gemstones and Whiskey, an Outlander podcast. I'm Ashley Alexandra.
And I'm Reena Ezra.
And this is episode 10.
By the pricking of my thumbs. We are playing after the intro now. Just a reminder, everybody, this is a watch-along podcast. You can watch along, you cannot watch along. But it is fun to watch along. Because we comment as each... We are already getting hot and steamy. I don't know if Claire's just getting up in the morning, but I see...
Heavy breathing.
I see a tit. I see a boob.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And
oh my goodness.
So Jamie's having a little breakfast? Shall we say? This is a great example of why you should be listening while watching the episode. Mm-hmm. This is a real watch-along moment.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great way to start your day.
This is way better than what Frank gave her in the cave in the beginning of this season.
And there's a knocking on the door. Jamie's like, I have not finished my meal. Let's focus.
Yeah.
And
she's
Claire
really enjoying it.
Really focusing.
Really enjoying it. Also, I just love how, like, she has curly hair, he has curly hair.
Yes.
You know, when they grab each other's hair, and then when, like, because they're both, like, aggressive when they touch each other's skin.
Yes.
And also, there's still no toothpaste back then, right? So, immediately, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking less about the toothpaste and more about, like, soap.
Oh, true.
You
yeah.
know?
Well, I mean, either way, even if he rinses and then eats, like, good thing Claire's not a germaphobe, even though she likes to sanitize things if she's a nurse and working, but still, gross.
Murtaugh just walks in and Claire's like, I'm not here at the moment.
She's probably tired, and it takes
I think she's, sometimes you need, like, a minute or two to, like, come back to your body.
Yes,
of
course, yeah. No, her spirit definitely went
elsewhere.
Out of body experience, yeah.
So Murtaugh is talking about the Duke, who has arrived, and Jamie is, he's a strategist, and he's like, wait a second, I could use the help of the Duke to get the price off my head.
Because Jamie is still running around, people thinking he is guilty of killing an officer. Just to recap, for whoever who forgot, remember, Jamie is still not out of the woods.
And Jamie... So Claire remembers the Duke's name from conversations with Frank. And... because she brought him up. Sorry, that was last episode.
Oh, yes.
She brought him up with...
Randall.
Yes.
Yeah. Blackjack Randall.
Yes. Jack Black Randall.
Jack Black Randall.
Do you think we could, like, get Jack Black on this podcast?
Oh, my God.
I think
just
maybe
the thought
like
of that is so
shout-out or something.
Let's do it.
We should.
Let's
we
just
should try to get Jack Black on this podcast to talk about Outlander.
I wonder if he's seen it.
Our podcast?
I wonder if he's heard our podcast. I wonder if he's seen the show.
I mean, listen, maybe you never know who's a fan of this stuff. And this is definitely something where, like, I think the audience skews female. But, like, I don't know. I feel like someone has something good on. You can pay attention without looking like you're really paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to pretend like you don't really care, but I think they care. Anyway, Claire's like, hey, maybe don't trust the Duke, because she knows the Duke is working with Blackjack Randall. And he's like, no, don't worry. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
Yeah, I feel like that's still a tricky thing. You always have to be careful where people's loyalty lies, and if people are just out to do things for themselves, and it's a whole chess match. And then Jamie's also consulting the accountant, lawyer. Why do we keep forgetting what his position is? Lawyer, thank you.
Because you know why he dealt with money.
That's why I'm
you think he's an accountant,
yeah.
But I think he does it all. He's a one-stop.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you got money needs, I got you. You need law advice, I got you.
He's that guy who would have those old cartoony lawyer commercials.
Yes,
they never change. Yeah.
And okay, here's how it would be. He'd be like in a wingback chair, like with a book, and he'll be like, "Oh, do you need help? You know,
I got you."
Yeah, like whatever. You get it.
You get it, people. So they have to deliver documents to the Lord President of the court. There's like this whole, it's so silly that they have to, like, a reassignment, the court martial, there's like all of this other, like, it's just very interesting to me back then where like people are trying to uphold a system and documentation and stuff, and it's still like the very beginning or fresh.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is when rules and laws, everything's still being established.
Yeah, and like records.
Records, yeah.
You think about like, obviously people knew what was going on in their village, right? Or maybe their town, or their general region. And then you think about people who like, you think about people like Ned, who's like a learned man who knows law, but has also like learned or knows so many other things outside of his immediate community, and that was so rare.
Yes.
And I'm like, how did anyone ever learn anything? Like,
you gotta read a lot of books. Definitely from that is reading a lot of books, and also like word of mouth. You had to pay attention to what was going on around you. And
like just thinking about the spread of information.
Yes.
And how interesting that is.
Yes.
I wonder if there's a word for that. Like a term for the study of the spread of information, you know what I mean?
I don't know, I'm gonna find out. I will look that up while Claire talks to Larry.
Yeah, so Claire has just confronted Larry, and she's like, hey, I see your little voodoo doll, and I don't like it. She's like, I was really nice to you. She's like, it's not my fault. I didn't ask for him to be my husband. Not that I'm complaining.
Disseminate, by the way, means to spread information.
Oh, yeah, I meant more so like the study of how information was spread. I don't know. And Larry's like, listen, you stole him away from me. And Claire's like, please stop saying that. And then Larry's like, well, he's trapped in a loveless marriage with you. And she gets slapped across the face. That was a full open hand slap from Claire to Larry.
And I love how after she's just like, I shouldn't have done that, sorry.
Even though she's not.
She enjoyed that. Yeah.
That's not the tone you use when you're actually sorry.
Her face did not change. She was not apologetic. But, you know, Larry is meddling in other people's affairs. Like, bitch, no one to give up.
I don't know. I just think about... Because she's supposed to be young. Like...
She's young and foolish.
Like, 15 or whatever. Like, yeah, if I was 15...
Yeah, I think she's 16 or something, yeah.
Yeah, I'd put a curse on you.
Really? You would?
If I was 15... And I thought I was going to marry this man. I mean, I might not actually do it, but if I had access to a witch downstairs, yeah, I would, 100%.
I see what you're saying. I'm was more the person who just like stay in the background and keep to my own thoughts. Like when I was a kid and I had a crush on a camp counselor, and he's obviously way older, and I'm God, that's just like boom, imagination world. Like everything's just going on in my brain, but I would never try anything.
Reena, can I tell you?
Yes.
You just unlocked a memory in my brain.
Ooh, yeah, goody.
I had a very strange experience about 2 months ago, so over the summer. I, hung out with the camp counselor that I had the hugest crush on when I was a kid. He turns out to be, my friend's husband's cousin.
So funny.
It was a pool party.
Oh my God.
And I literally was and of course we had been drinking and whatever. Yeah. And there was a moment where I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm at a pool party with my camp counselor crush. Yeah. like more than 20 years later. Like, on what planet? So crazy. I was in love with him. Also, my boyfriend was there, and I think he didn't get the memo that I was in love with this camp counselor. He knew that he was my camp counselor, but
yes.
I just was sitting there and I was like, what a strange moment.
Wow, I love that. Did you ever tell the camp counselor? You're like, by the way.
So I feel like there was some real, like, inappropriate thing, like, it's so not 2021 approved, like, where, I guess maybe it was a marriage booth or whatever, and you could, like, marry camp counselors.
At this pool party?
Sorry.
Or at camp. You're at camp. There was a marriage booth.
I think that's what it was, and you could, like, marry, they would have, like, a female and a male camp counselor in the booth, and you could, like, marry them, and I think married him 2 years in a row, because I was like, we gonna really lock this down.
And now you can ordain people.
There we go, and I was like, little do you know, we are married right now.
Full circle.
No, he's very much not my type now. But he also used to work, I think, at, like, a local restaurant or whatever, so I would, like, always want to go with my mom when she was picking up food from there, and I think maybe I, like, gave him, like, a little something. Or no. Was it him?
A voodoo doll?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So did
you curse all future girlfriends?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you didn't make a move. Like, you didn't...
No, I was like 8. I wasn't like, what are you doing
No,
later?
I'm saying, but like you kept like thoughts to yourself. Like you didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like where we just like manifest things or have a fantasy in our brain. Like
no. So
I didn't actually like write a little note.
No.
Like,
I've written notes before. Not for him, but for other guys. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah. No. I've like professed my love, but when I was younger. Then I think, like, certainly not high school times. Forget about it. Like, I was like, nobody is interested, so I'm not interested. And
that's
don't
not
even
true.
Be interested. No, it wasn't true. I was stupid. I look back on it later, I'm like, you're an idiot.
So there's a lot of
there's lots that happened
already in this beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
And a lot of women feeling themselves.
Yeah. So, wow, I'm blanking on her name. That's not great.
Gayless. Yes, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
It is Gayless. I was like, was I thinking of the wrong one?
No, you're right. So Gayless was just like writhing around in the middle of the woods, all naked and pregnant.
Like she's just rolling on the floor.
And Claire was like, "Oh, you noticed me?" She's like, "Yeah, I spotted you from the beginning of my routine."
And she's doing some sort of ritual.
Yeah, so she's all
or spell
pregnant, and
so this is a nice secret that they sprinkle in here.
Yes. So Gayless is like, "Yeah, I've been hiding it. My husband doesn't know." And Claire's like, "Really?" And Gayless is like, "You think I let him touch me? LOL."
I guess you could hide a bump if you wore
in those clothes.
Like, dresses like
100%.
Yeah, he would not be able to
Got
tell.
a nice corset and a full skirt. Absolutely. I think the boobs would give it away more than the belly.
You mean because they're...
I think...
Is that often, but like every person... Like when any woman is pregnant, you do just... Like your boobs get bigger? Or
I think that's pretty standard.
Yeah, well it has to be. You're right. Because they're producing different...
Yeah, I think it's just one of the areas that like
your
retains fat and stuff and also starts... Channels start filling up or whatever.
I am definitely curious what it's like to be pregnant, but I don't necessarily want the outcome of a child. But I want to just know what it's like. What is it like to be pregnant?
Most people are the complete opposite. They're like, I want a child and I don't even want to think about being pregnant.
But I don't, like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking about this with my friend recently, but we're talking about, like, all the systems female body, like, has. Yeah. And there's this power we've harnessed that we haven't even used yet.
Yeah,
like, we have the potential to do so much.
Yes.
And, like, I don't even know the full capability of my body yet.
Right.
And I'm just, like... But then it's terrifying also to think about it.
Yeah, so I
think there's a person growing in your body.
I feel like pregnancy is kind of like drugs. Like, so when I think of like doing drugs that I've never done or whatever, I'm convinced I'm not gonna have a good trip. which typically means you're not going.
You're not. If your mental state is that way.
So
yes.
same thing with pregnancy. I feel like, yes, I would love to know what like a beautiful, easy, enjoyable pregnancy is like. Because yes, there are. I think it has to do partially with mindset. Like I think there are some women who like are so very happy. Yeah. Like they love their body. Yeah. Like, and I know that's not always the norm, but like yes, there's a segment of women that like love their body. They feel more empowered. And like my cousin was like that. She like loved being pregnant, and she had an easy-ish, from what I understand, pregnancy, like no issues. But I feel like when I think about being pregnant, I'm like, but I don't think that's what's in the. I think I would like have problems. I think it would be not a good time. I don't know.
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying. Because also, it's sometimes when you watch, like, TV and movies, and then it's just like, oh, so does your, like, back always hurt?
Yeah.
You know, when you get up, and, like, you have to do... I'm just thinking of all the negative things.
Yeah, and I think there's, like, the second trimester is, like, the sweet spot where, like, you kind of grow out of the morning sickness issues for the most part.
See, that's a thing. There are people who do have morning sickness almost every day of their pregnancy. That's insane. That's terrible. I know. I hate the feeling of being nauseous, and I hate throwing up. And, like, that's just a thing.
Having to do it while you have a baby. Like as it continues throughout pregnancy, if you're, like, still having problems and you're like, I can't even bend over to throw up in the toilet.
It sounds just very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, but then, I guess you get a person out of it, so then it's like,
yeah, is that a good thing? I don't know.
Now you have a lifelong investment, because babies are expensive, and they don't stop at the age of 18, you stop paying for them, it's not yet, it's ridiculous.
No, I still live at home, I'm 32. Thanks, Mom, love you.
So now Claire hears a baby.
A lot of jackets with hoods happening here.
Score for costume.
Fall look.
Love it.
Yes, there's a baby crying, and Claire's like, oh, I gotta go help it because I'm a nurse. And Galis is like, I don't think you should do that. Here's the thing. It's something called the changeling. When parents have sick babies, they leave them outside for the fairies so that the fairies can replace it with a fairy baby. And Claire's like, well, that sounds ridiculous, so I'm gonna
She's
go
like,
help
it's just a sick
baby.
child. Yeah.
And Galis is like, all right, bye-bye.
So it's another example of Claire being stubborn and using her knowledge from the 1940s, the present, her state of mind, again, Claire, this is not your space. If you if you know that you already traveled through rocks, what makes you think you're not going to believe that, oh, okay, they're going to replace it with a fairy child? After I traveled through rocks back through time, I'll believe anything.
Possible.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess it's because it's a baby. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. No. If it's a baby, and Galis just told me that, and she was rolling on the ground pregnant, and she's got some spells and shit, I would believe all of this crazy crap.
I guess you're right. I don't know, but to like leave a crying baby.
Oh no, that's terrible.
In the winter woods.
Of course, that's terrible. No, that's terrible.
Like, I don't even think I could help it. Like, meaning, I don't even think my going to it would be helpful because I'm not a nurse. I can't imagine, like, being like, oh, I might actually be able to help this baby, and being like, meh.
Well, I also would not want to seek it out because that visual will be stuck in my head. You're right. I don't want to see the condition the baby's in.
But then you wouldn't think forever and ever, like, the crying of the baby wouldn't echo in your head and be like, I left.
No. I'm sorry.
Well, we all learned something about Reena today.
Some people are listening to like, she should not be a mom. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. It's just fair,
you did start this conversation by saying you want the pregnancy, not the baby. So
yeah, but it's because I'm trying to experience what my powers are gonna be like. That's a power. Being pregnant's a power. Creating life's a power.
Anyway, in true Jamie fashion, he just shows up after she's been sitting there for hours.
Yeah, and the baby was already gone, she said.
Yeah,
and left here to design everything. It's just like it's just like, also there's just so much other stuff and like depressing stuff that Claire's already been through. Like I feel like sometimes she seeks it out.
Yes, I get that.
Yeah, like probably, yes, not on purpose. She's not like trying to make herself depressed and go through all these things, but of course she's like, I took an oath, I'm a nurse, like I have to help people if there is somebody in need, if there's but it's just like, you got a whole book of depressing memories now. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna want to go back to Scotland after this. It just sounds... And look, Jamie just puts it back in the tree.
Well, because he says, like, you kind of don't know what you're dealing with here, because he knows that, like... So, essentially, the worry here is, like, people in this area really believe in these mystical things, and... Obviously, they've been through this traumatic experience where their baby got sick, and they're probably really upset. And so, if this is going to bring them a little bit of solace, like, just let them have this process.
That's another thing I don't like about Claire, where she is very selfish in her way of thinking, where it's just like, it doesn't, like, Jamie was just saying, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not, this is what it is.
Right.
This is the case. At least be considerate of somebody else's way of thinking. Like, that is, you're not going to change their mind. I'm sorry, honey, but you just showed up here.
But to be fair, like, Gaylist didn't really say that, and for someone who's not of this time, like... I don't think your mind necessarily goes there. You know?
No, of course not.
Because you just think about what is possible, right? Like you think about, okay, but I have tools and skills that could help the situation.
Right.
Anyway.
And better leaving the situation thinking she, could have done something instead of just giving up.
Right.
That's a good quality about Claire. She does not give up. She does try every avenue or try any possibility before she's like, okay, that's it. It's done. Yeah. Also, Gayless she's a weird one. She's a weird one.
She certainly.
You guys are going to enjoy or not enjoy that character, but with whatever develops and unveils later on in the show. But
yeah,
she's an interesting character.
For
Lallybroch.
So they're essentially. I think this is the
Lallybroch is his
home,
right? His home, right?
But this is. I think they're signing the document. Is this what they're going to give to the Duke?
This is not the deed.
No.
Oh.
Because they don't have that yet. I think what she just signed was...
I thought they were talking about... Never mind.
I'm pretty sure it's the letter, essentially, that Jamie's planning to give to the
justice.
Duke. Yeah.
Oh, got you. Okay.
But Claire's like, yeah, I'll sign it. Meanwhile, she had a plan to kind of go and talk to the Duke first, because she has information that she hasn't shared with Jamie yet about the Duke, so she's like, maybe I can behind the scenes kind of leverage what I know about him, so that we can do like a back end deal rather than, because I think she doesn't think the Duke is actually going to help Jamie. With Jamie's proposition.
Right.
So, Broch Tarach. What a name.
Yeah, what a name indeed. So is she also trying to tarnish Blackjack Randall's
I think she's just
relationship between the Duke as well? Because there are multiple games I feel like she's trying to play here.
Yeah.
She is trying to do things that, like, she's still, like, Blackjack Randall has not gone away. She's still trying to deal with that situation and her safety and security, and then also dealing with Jamie's situation. So I always feel like there's multiple games going on at the same time.
Definitely. Well, so I think...
he's Duke befriending one of his most valued officers. He's talking about Blackjack.
Yeah. Because I think she's essentially being like, listen, I know the games you got going on, or the deals you have going on under the table. And he's like, who, me? She's like, I think essentially what she's trying to say is like, what's one more deal,
Valid point. He's so goofy sometimes, the Duke.
So...
You know, doesn't he seem quite...
Yes. And he was in one of my favorite movies of all time.
What movie?
Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
The actor?
Yes. Did you watch that?
Play? Yeah, who did he play?
He was the guy that, like, had all the animal, like, the taxidermied animals and stuff.
Now I gotta look up that character name.
Aborigines.
OMG, I have to...
And he, like, had the riding crop and everything.
This.
I forget what his name was.
I have not seen that movie in a while. I'm not
Mr.
sure it
Ventura.
really... I'm not sure it aged quite well in some parts. Is that him? Wait, hold on. I'm going through.
I forget what his name
Casting
was.
crew. No, cast. There we go.
Mr. Ventura. He's essentially like the antagonist. That was a great line. What a lovely head and neck. I'd hate to see them parted.
Oh, Claire's?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about her neck on this show.
Well, I mean, how could you not?
Choker.
It's over a foot long. It's not fair. How do you get a long neck like that?
Stretch it at birth.
You can. You can do the
wings. Yeah, back in the day, where was it when I was, I think, touring the Vanderbilt mansions in Rhode Island, and we're talking early 1900s, for women to sit up straight and their posture and their neck, they would strap some sort of like vest and then had whatever like metal rod or pole up their neck and back. It does not sound comfortable. There was one room I think that had like a prototype or like what the device looked like, and it's.
I think they still have like a modern version of that for people with like scoliosis and stuff.
Oh well, yeah, but probably like a better design.
Yeah, no,
for
that's
sure.
what I mean.
Gotcha.
Like a updated version. So wow, I can't remember anyone's name today. What's his name?
Column?
No. The other one.
Mackenzie? Dougal?
Dougal
Mackenzie? Sorry, there's a lot of men. There's a lot of men in this room. I didn't know
that guy.
Which one you were referring to. There's Rupert. We got some people here.
You're nailing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dougal is very distraught.
When is he not? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, you've never seen like this. He always has composure, so he's very drunk. He's very distraught.
Go on, sorry.
His wife has died.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's trying to like figure out how to subdue him, and he's like, I'm gonna cut off your neck.
Yeah, he's feisty.
And they send in poor Angus, who's like, I just have some wine here, just some very normal.
Was he trying to offer it to him, or he was trying to drink it to make him lower
No, so he literally, because Angus is also a drunk, was literally
no. It was Claire's plan. Remember, Claire just put, I don't remember what she put into the drink, but she just poured something, probably a sedative, into the bottle.
Yes.
And they were giving that to Dougal. I like totally forgot. I was just like, why is he getting a bottle of wine?
Yes.
Yeah, he's. It's literally like luring a child. Like, look, I have a piece of candy, when like a child is throwing a tantrum, and then he's just gonna go and drink it and finally calm the poop down. Yeah. He's so distraught though. Yeah, look at him. He's so like torn.
Well, so this whole scene will become very interesting as other things are revealed in the next couple of episodes. It's just interesting that he's so upset that his wife has died. Especially considering we haven't seen her this whole time.
Never seen that character.
So... Oh, and he basically says she was ugly, but she deserved better than him, and I bet that is accurate.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you think this is a bit much? You think this is a bit for show?
I just think it's interesting after additional information that will be revealed that he is.
Yeah, I also love like Claire's face. Like Claire's like having none of it.
Yes, I don't think Dougal is now falling over, and she's like, "Yes, you silly man.
Yeah,
we drugged you with wine because you're an alcoholic."
Yeah. So I love how they had to clear the dining room. They moved all the furniture. They moved everything out of the way so that this...
Well, I also wonder, I'm assuming this is like a multi-purpose room kind of for the castle. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so I wonder if there's like, there was afternoon something, line dancing that happens in the hall. The great hall.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't imagine having a place that big. You'd have to clean it. Oh, here we go, Galus again. Getting a lot of her this episode.
Yes.
Mora, who you have to remember.
Oh, I think is that.
That is his wife. That's her name. Did we even know her name beforehand? Would you like to put words to your noise?
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I think also what we might have missed or failed to mention in the previous episode with Galus dancing around, I thought it hadn't been revealed yet, but it seems as though it had, that Galus's baby daddy is Dougal Mackenzie.
I don't think that was mentioned. I think this was the episode earlier because...
No, I think it was in this, because they kind of just...
In this conversation.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That we didn't know that last episode. I'm saying we found out that here, yeah.
But the dancing was this episode. I think they talked about it and we were talking about camp.
So
sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. No, but that's definitely what I remember. That piece of information I did remember and was thinking of in the beginning when she was rolling around the floor and she was pregnant. I was just like, ooh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So
whose baby that is.
Yeah. So very interesting that he was so upset that his wife passed away. Meanwhile, he was stupping.
Another reason for Claire to hate.
Yes. So that was like part of her face too. It was like, wow, yeah, you're so upset.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You're so upset about a thing you did. Not really. I don't know. I don't think he did it, but.
Does anybody? I don't think anybody else knows.
No, at this moment, I don't think so.
But see, Galus doesn't keep that under wraps. She just said it.
I mean, she said it to Claire.
That's true. Claire's not really a gossip.
And, like, Galus is trying to set up this, like, friendship between her and Claire.
I never know what she's trying to do.
I know.
She's so mischievous.
You're right.
But it's just, like, you didn't have to divulge that information, but maybe she's just... Also, like, for you to be carrying a child of Dougal Mackenzie,
I think she likes it.
Exactly, yeah. Higher status, or you think you're more important, or there's like, oh, Dougal gave you attention.
Yeah.
Like, she's not some random girl who's on the premises now. I mean, she wasn't random, but... And now we have Jamie, who is talking to the Duke. With his gray curly wig.
Yes. And so he's like, listen... If you want me to do you a favor, then you have to do me a favor. And Jamie's like, I'm listening. And the Duke's like, well, there's a matter of this duel, you see. Jamie's like, physical altercation, tell me more. So it is...
Over an unpaid bet.
Yeah, with the McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Frickin' McDonald's.
Wanted,
challenge you to a duel. That was so stupid.
I enjoyed that. That was quite good. But look at the Duke. He's just like, he doesn't look like he could do a duel. He doesn't even look like he's a good shot.
No, but he's like, but listen, you don't have to like do anything. I just need you as my second. Like, can you just like be there for moral support? Like, I promise you won't have to do anything.
And he's so weird. He just touches
Jamie's chin, which we should be so lucky. And Murtaugh's like, I don't know about this. And
yeah, usually when Murtaugh is hesitant about something, he's right.
I would do anything Murtaugh told me to do. Really? And I would not do anything Murtaugh told me not to do. I
trust his judgment.
I feel like he's always had...
He's never really steered Jamie wrong.
Yeah, maybe... maybe in the earlier seasons, I would follow anything Murtaugh said. Never mind.
Alright.
Spoiler alert. Don't listen to me.
Didn't really spoil, but
no,
yeah.
but we're, like,
everyone's going to...
Look, she has a full animal wrapped around her neck. I don't remember that. It's literally just like, it's like a giant...
Is that a ferret? Or is it
like...
What is it? It's white?
It's if a choker and a scarf became one.
Uh-huh. I have to see it again. They have to bring her back on the screen.
And that is a giant...
Oh, I see. Yes,
I don't remember that at all.
I do. Yeah. That is... Oh,
that is, I think, a full peacock.
A peacock, yeah. We're about to eat dinner.
Peacocks are very nasty. I don't know if that's true. Not like sexual nasty.
No,
like...
no. Behavior. They're just like... well, I don't know. If you look like a peacock, you're allowed to act whatever way you want.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
He's cutting into some cake.
Also, those are the males, right? The males are always the one that have very pretty colors. Yeah, the women always look plain. Which is so ridiculous. Why does nature do that?
I don't know.
Always with birds.
Well, but because it's the man's job. See, because it's reversed.
Because the man's job to court the women. So they do a little dance, flash a little feathers.
Meanwhile, in the human world, it's like, dance, women, dance.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Isn't that messed up? We should be more like birds.
Well, we both can sew. Humans and birds can sew.
What?
I'm just thinking of comparisons between birds and humans. I was trying to give you... birds can sew when they do, like, sew their nest together with their beak. They use similar sewing techniques that we do. So, whatever. You're welcome. I gave you some fun bird tips.
I wasn't following.
Some fun human-bird fun facts. Unappreciated. And I am also just, like, saying, as a reminder, people, we have 3 episodes left until season 1 is done.
Is that
no, that's not true.
Sorry. That's not
No, you're
true.
right. You said episode 6. Oh my god.
10. It goes to episode 16.
We have so many episodes, people. Why is season 1's the longest?
Yeah, season 1 is very long.
Do you think it needed to be this long? I don't
Absolutely not.
It didn't.
Also, like,
why?
Aside from the gayless pregnancy and, like, a lot of this episode is, like, not necessary.
Oh my gosh.
Or, like,
the chunks they could have taken out.
Yeah, it could be, like, totally could just make up 5 minutes of another episode.
Oh my god, yeah. They really did try. I am curious as to why they did. Also, probably, for the book, even in the, there's things, if your first season is this long, but then there's so many things that were left out of the book, it's like, why did you pay more attention to some areas instead of others? And
I feel like, listen, it's the first season. Whenever it's the first season, like, nobody knows what they're doing. Maybe Showtime was like, we need 16 episodes. Like, we think 16 episodes is fair, and they're like, okay.
Well.
And they're like, I mean, listen, if we can continue getting people naked on screen, like, let's just go for 6 more episodes. And,
the closer to the end of season 1, people, it is going to get cray.
Yikes.
And so right now it's really cray.
Yeah. So Gaelus's husband, in the middle of this feast that they're all at, just kind of passed out. He's foaming at the mouth. Never it's like really convulsing. A good like sign. And of course Claire's like, let me look at him. Is there something I can help with? And Ned's like, do you need your taxes done, sir?
This did not, I don't think anyone is fooled by this.
I mean,
as far as
nobody just dies like that, foaming at the mouth. Like, that's not a natural occurrence.
Right.
And Gaelus is looking at, ugh.
Oh, look at, that smirk. Oh, and Colum notices. That's the thing that I forgot about.
Yes, he does.
So Galus looks at, which, like, look at this fucking act. Somebody
delayed reaction.
Somebody wants her Oscar. So Galus looks at, just
Dougal.
recap, Dougal gives a slight smirk, that eerie smile. Colum
No, that was like a full smile. Like, he wasn't even trying to
wasn't
hide
a
it.
full grin. He didn't show
pretty
teeth.
Close. I think that is Dougal's full smile.
And then Colum sees Galus and Dougal. Okay, what the fuck? You guys are involved?
Yes.
Going on? Oh my god. And then Galus is like, ah! Like, she's like, oh, now I should be upset that, like, my husband just died.
Do you think he killed his wife?
Cat's out of the bag.
Sorry.
Dougal?
Yeah. I would think not.
They never touch up on that theory.
I'm just wondering, is that why he was so upset? Like, did he kill her? Probably not, because I think here's the reason I think not. Okay. I'm just going to argue against myself if you don't mind.
Yes. I mean, no, I don't mind at all. Continue.
So, I just feel like, okay, he was so distraught, and why? And it's like, well, did you both conspire to, like, kill your spouses so you could be together?
Possibility.
But she would need to kill her spouse to be with him, but he's a man, so he could just do whatever he wanted. Meaning, he could just go move in with another woman and also still have his wife in the other house. Like, he's a man. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, he's allowed to come and go as he pleases.
True, but how convenient that it just worked out, that she died and then
he was
she
so
killed her
upset.
husband. Yeah, it's kind of fishy.
I never realized that it was, like, back-to-back like
I didn't even think of that Dougal was responsible for murder, because I didn't think he had any really, like, motive. I was just like, it's not, she didn't need to die.
But that's highly suspicious.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, let's back up. She did it. Galus did it. I wasted everyone's time.
Kill Dougal's wife?
Yes.
Are you revealing something early, or you know already?
No, I think it was hinted at in that conversation between Claire and Galus at the market. I think that's
So she poisoned her too?
Well, she didn't say she did, but Claire's like...
I'm assuming it's by poison.
But did you,
did
though?
Potions and shit.
So I think Claire at least thinks that Galus killed Dougal's wife. I bet she did. That makes way more sense than... Dougal.
A bonkers lady. Oh my god. Yeah. So dangerous. See, even during these times, you don't have to be only, like, worried about and scared of, like, the men. There are women who would, like...
Oh, for sure.
That's definitely a fear of mine. If I was back then, I wouldn't want to be poisoned.
Yeah.
Now Jamie's fighting people.
We're gonna, like, call a truce for the duel, and then the Duke said something, like, silly but, like, offensive to McDonald's, and then the McDonald's are like, oh, no you don't, and then they started attacking
But we know
Jamie.
why. We are going to find out soon as to why the Duke made a stupid comment. The thing is, the Duke always, I feel like when somebody's in that level of power, that position, they always pretend they're aloof or crazy, be like, oh, I'm so silly, like, I didn't mean to do, oh, sorry about that, oh, I didn't mean, that was, like, my bad, blah, 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 but they're very aware of what they're doing. And what is he doing now? He just took...
the document. But now I guess
for Jamie's justice.
Yeah.
Because I think the Duke... So let's back up. I think the Duke planned that. It was a bullshit thing with, like, oh, a duel of these people, blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean, I think they partly, hated the Duke and were bothered by whatever. He needed Jamie there as, like, brawn muscle to, like, defend him and, like, fight him and shit. But I think the Duke was not going to see through...
But he did just say, I will hold up my end of the bargain.
I don't fucking... No, don't believe that shit. Okay. Do not believe that shit,
Yeah, I was always kind of confused about
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the Duke in his position, always, people are always, like, out to defend themselves.
Oh, yeah, I don't really, like, trust him. But I guess I just was always unclear. Oh, she actually pricked him in that scene, by the way. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry. A real needle? She's using a real needle?
She's using, I mean, it might not be, like, a real, but, like, he has, like, a thing over his skin, and she must have, like, gone to his actual skin. I'm sorry, let's keep talking.
No, that's okay. I'm just saying, people, if you're confused with what you just saw, what happened with the Duke and Jamie and those people who they were supposed to deal and they just, like, beat him up or whatever, we're going to be, it's going to be revisited. We're going to go back to the Duke.
Will it?
Things will be clarified, but I was just saying that the Duke does just, want to make sure he's taking care of, protect himself, whatever, and I feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like he just tries to throw things off course, and he's just being like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, I'll see your bargain through, Jamie, like, I'm gonna, like, blah, 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 but there's a bunch of other people waiting on the Duke for certain things, so, anyway, it'll be culminating. I probably just made everybody really confused, but... No,
it's helpful. I'm sorry, I'm very into this brother fight. Colin
Mackenzie just
is really chewing into Dougal and is like, oh, you love her.
This is your child.
Wow. And Dougal's like, I do. She's having my baby. And Dougal's like, oh, that's great.
Colin.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Colin.
Yeah, Colin's like, oh, that's good. Yeah, and Colin's just like, you think you're gonna marry? He said this evil temptress.
You think you're gonna marry? You think that kid's gonna be recognized by me? Like, nah.
Yeah, Colin's fuming.
And so he says, go ahead, Dougal, go and say goodbye to your Hoover.
Fornicate yourselves to oblivion.
Yeah.
They definitely got some good lines.
He's like, listen, you gotta go. You're not going to be in this castle. I don't care what you do, but you got to get out of here. Oh, and then he goes, can't even acknowledge what I've said. You're laird.
And, like, I don't understand, like, did Dougal really think his brother was going to react well to that? Or he just didn't care? He just got Galus knocked up. And also, I do question, like, does he actually love her? Like, there's just so many people I don't trust. Or maybe it's their feelings in the moment.
I think, without saying too much, I think they very passionately agree about the one thing that they both most passionately believe
Who's
in.
they?
Galus and Dougal.
Okay.
And so I think that is what is very enticing about her.
Okay.
I also wonder if there's, like, a little bit of, like, spell work going on or something. Like, I wonder if she's, like, kind of influenced him to be very into her.
Interesting, yeah. I wouldn't put it past that. Yeah, I'd believe that. Because...
now, is it true or not? I don't know.
Depends. We'll see if Dougal snaps out of it or whatever.
Oh, I forgot about Colin's legs.
Whatever.
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Yeah. We'll see. There's a lot. We have to wait and see how things are going to pan out.
And so, there they are.
Wow, Dougal's just like, he just looks like he can't believe it just happened. This is not even the first time that he's been scolded or, like, they wanted to banish him from the castle.
Yeah, and now Jamie has to go with him, and Claire's like, well, you have an open wound, so I don't love this. And he's like, it's okay, I'll be fine. And he's like, whatever you do, just stay away from Galus.
Yeah, that's good
And
advice.
of course, Claire's immediately like, why do you think Colin's gonna, like, do something bad to her?
Which, I mean, wouldn't like, Galus just, divulge so much information to Claire about people she literally killed. Like,
at this point,
you don't think she's going to be held accountable? There's a murderer. She's a literal murderer. There's a murder in your castle.
And he's like, seriously, Claire, I'm going to say it one more time. Stay away from her. So this is the first time they're apart since...
the wedding or time after the wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which all kind of happened in one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lovely kiss. That is top notch.
Yeah.
Aww. I love love.
I love love too. Mm. Love conquers all. At least I like to think
that was a good kiss. Have you had to do stage kisses before?
No.
This might have come up before.
No, I don't. And I have not. I have not. Have you?
Yeah, a few. None worth writing about. None of them were good. All of them were awkward and weird.
Yeah. They never look...
And they didn't look like that.
Yeah, they never look enjoyable. I mean, it's also like, you know, nerdy geek theater dorks. Like those kids in high school. When it's like high school... it's sometimes the most awkward. I don't know, it's just awkward. Also, just like seeing it, and you're just like, I don't think either of you guys enjoy it.
Right, like, now we all have to watch it. Like, you know, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's better if you guys just like high-fived.
Right, yeah.
Or hug. Just hug.
A very, like, nice, intimate hug.
Yeah.
That really gets the point across.
Yo, I mean, school's back in session, and you have to do, like, a play now. Like, because of COVID, I wonder if they probably, I'm curious, if they just don't allow that.
Wow, no stage kisses.
And they have to rewrite, and they're like, no, you guys are just gonna socially distance hug.
And
no, I'm just kidding.
The juniors are like, man, I really thought I was gonna get my first kisses here. Stupid COVID.
That sounds like,
COVID protocol.
It sounds like a character in, was it in My Fairly Odd Parents, Boyle? The kid you've never seen My Fairly Odd Parents?
No, I think I might have been slightly too old for
You've seen Danny Phantom?
I don't know what that is. I've never even heard of that one.
God. Alright.
Claire gets a note that says, Claire, come quick. Gayless. And she's like, I'll be right there.
Like, okay, first of all, where? Like, I'm just assuming her house? Just like we know it's her house? Okay, it is Gayless's house.
But I was also come quick for what? You know it can't be for anything good.
What do you mean? It's like she's in labor.
The woman killed people.
The only thing I can think of is she's going into labor.
She's housemaid or whatever the title is. And anyway, Gayless
my gosh.
Like, why are you here? And Claire's like, your letter. And Gayless is like, what letter? And Claire's like, this letter? And Gayless is like, nope, not mine.
I wouldn't believe her. Because it's just like, you want me to think that you didn't do the letter, even if you did do the letter, and you want me to, like, but I think that you think that I think. I think you want me to think. I think you want me to think that I think
and
you
that's
think.
Episode 10, folks.
You think I don't know that you did the letter. It made sense in my head. Yeah, and Claire's just like, you poisoned your husband.
And she's like, you gotta get out of here. And Gayless is like, why would I leave my home? And Claire's like, because you're gonna be ripped from it in 5 minutes. Which is like, also Gayless, like, why would you tell her that, hey, the baby I have is with Dougal, blah, 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 I'm gonna give you all this other information, but then once you put the pieces together yourself, Claire, and actually accuse me of something that's valid, I'm gonna deny it. Like, really? Well, I think so also... Plus you have literal potions and poison and shit in your room. The other thing is Gayless... Right. Gayless also, I don't think, knows that Dougal has been, like, banished. She doesn't. That's why so this she's scene like, is like, gonna escalate. Nanny poo-poo. Mm-hmm. No one's gonna touch me. Like, Dougal's gonna protect me, and it's fine, because I'm having his baby. And Claire is literally, right now, trying to warn her that she's like, the warden's coming. They are coming for you. Claire's I know you think you are, because she thinks she's absolutely protected by Dougal. Yeah, you're the brother of the leader, whatever, but, like, Colum makes his own decisions. Yeah. And this
it gets very exciting right here.
Yeah.
Because shit just good. I mean, so they're arresting her, and what does Claire do? You get your shit in the middle of it once again because you don't listen. I don't feel sorry for any of you.
So Galis looks a little nervous for the first time.
Yeah, first time concern on her face. And they're like being rough with them, trying to put them in the back of this vehicle. And Galis is pregnant, people. Like, just remember that.
It's because they're witches. You know, like these men are like, well, you're crazy witch ladies, so.
Yes. So, who's that lady? She's just a bitch.
What a bitch.
She's just like smirking in the back, and she.
Oh.
So she. Oh, well, there you go, people. End of this episode. End of episode 10. She knew Claire was there while Galis was going to be arrested. So.
Yep.
Forget about Larry until she comes back in.
Alright, so now we're on our scoring section.
Yes.
We have steaminess, plot, feminine power, costumes and set, and cringe factor. So again, we're ranking each episode on this set of criteria, and at the end we're going to be compiling a master list of episodes. So let's start with steaminess. Reena, what do you
4.
give? Yeah.
Because that opening scene was beautiful.
Yes.
Everything about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we also got Galis rolling around naked too.
True.
Not that it's my thing, but for somebody.
True. Also, how did they do that when she was, I mean, everything's probably digital effects, but she was naked and it looked like a bump. Like, they didn't have that
prosthetic.
under clothes. They had, so they just blended in with the skin and then they're attaching it, and it's very, like, damn, makeup is so clever.
Yeah.
And prosthetics and makeup.
Agreed.
You're right. I should have known that's how they did it.
I'm like, makeup. I don't know if it's right. I just said it with convictions. Don't listen to me.
Steaminess also a 4?
Yes.
You said? Okay, so what about plot?
Well, I was just going to steal your answer. No, kidding. Okay, so for plot, I am going to say 3.
Samesies.
Because I know I said that it's not a great episode, but I feel like they could have just condensed it and like...
Yeah, I agree with
faster.
that. But there was a lot that happened.
Yes. So yeah, I give it a 3. And then we have feminine power. Interesting.
Yeah, this is a tough one, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, is it feminine power for you to poison your husband and kill him so that you can be with this other guy, and now you're pregnant, and being pregnant is feminine power, right?
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. Now listen, I'm not saying it's like positive feminine power.
It's definitely women not supporting other
killed
women.
1 to 2 people.
Yeah.
In the episode, she's growing a baby and she hid it for several months.
Hid, people, H-I-D.
Oh yes, hid. Sorry. Galis really got Claire there.
Yes.
And also, Claire got a nice little morning pick-me-up.
She did.
And it was it was a one-sided deal.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm giving it a 4.
I'm giving it a 3. But also, because, Larry at the end also trying to be mischievous. But it's like all these women very, like, using their strength and trying to wield and get, like, their power, getting what they want. But it just makes me upset because they are not working together, and they are really hurting each other and dividing it.
And I will say, outside of these 3 women... So outside of the 3 main women in the show...
Yeah.
No, but like as the seasons progress, I do feel like you see more women supporting women than women against women.
Agreed. Definitely after this season. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I like that change. Costume set. Love those winter coats and the hoods and the fur. Love the coats.
And even Colum had on a fur coat number, like a house coat that looked very nice.
We had some nice new chic stuff.
And also Gaelus's belly.
Oh, yes.
That we just talked about, too.
Yes. I'm probably going to give it a 4.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4, too. Also, I do love Gaelus's, apartment.
I love how you call it an apartment.
Whatever it is. I don't know.
Cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Well, because it's, upstairs, so it's, an apartment. True,
you're right.
You know? Or, maybe it's a townhome, because there's the downstairs.
Very good observation. Yes, it's a townhouse. That's what we're calling it.
And cringe factor.
Probably
Larry.
Just a -1. Just because he when her husband was dying and stuff was coming out of his mouth, that was kind of gross. Larry is just cringe in general. But there wasn't much in this episode for me.
I'm gonna give it a -2, just for the Duke's presence, and also for
the Duke, I forgot about
Larry succeeding in her
scheme.
Because I don't like her.
Of course.
So I think my total is a 13.
Same.
Oh my god. Same. All right. Well, this was a very fun episode. Thanks all for listening. We'll be back with episode 11. See you then.